All right, guys, how's it going? I'm a little bit sort of late on this, but I kind of wanted to give it some time after the trailer came out to do my deep dive, and I just wanted to get as much information as possible. I watched all the live streams, I watched a lot of deep dives, and I kind of just wanted to give my full opinions on it. This video will literally be going frame by frame of the trailer, so sit back, relax, grab some chips, grab a drink. We're gonna go over it. If I was a big enough channel, I would have probably just made this a live stream, but instead I'm making it a video, and I want to discuss with you guys. So at certain timestamps and stuff like that, just stop it and put in your timestamp and give me your discussions, what you think's going on. I've had my opinions changed a lot on what's happening, so yeah, but we're gonna get into it. I wanted to go over some details first if you haven't heard it anywhere else, because it's been around everywhere, but it is official. It was in the trailer. The show is going to be coming out November 19th, and with that they're going to be having 3 episodes released on that date. So 3 of our 8 episodes are going to be released on November 19th, and the show will be ending on Christmas Eve. So it's going to seem like it's all going to be compact so fast, but we're going to be excited to get it all at once, and they've already started filming season 2, so we know it's going to be coming next year as well. But yeah, let's start getting into the trailer, and we're literally going to be going frame by frame. 1 second in, we see Egwene and Nynaeve. We also see Egwene here. She also has her hair braided, and for the longest time, I thought the sequences of her in the river and all that was her initiation into the women's circle, or maybe Nynaeve's apprentice. I think that could still be on the table. But other prominent theory that a lot of people are going with is that this is just all a dream. She may be in Tel'aran'rhiod. For people who don't know, in the show, it's a place in the books. It's the dream world. I'm not going to really spoil too much, but that part later that we'll get to is maybe just all a part of that dream that she's in, foreshadowing. But yep, we have her here, and I think someone brought up, it was one of my subscribers brought up, that they're actually in 2 different pieces of clothing, Egwene is. So we're just going to go through this 1 second here where Egwene is being pushed by Nynaeve into, I just love the costume design here. It looks really cool, very diverse, and she's getting pushed into the river, and it's a meme. Everybody in the community is really joking about it, and boom, she's in there. So nothing prominent to really bring up here besides all of that. So this all could be a dream. It could be her initiation. One of those 2 things, I think, or something completely different we don't know about. Then we're about 5 seconds in now. You're gonna get me every time with some mountains, with some fantasy mountains here. It looks beautiful. I love the music that's happening here. Then we're going to skip ahead to, we got Emond's Field here. So yeah, we have our Emond's Field right here. I have a whole video on Emond's Field that I just made that came out earlier this week. And someone actually brought up, I totally missed that, people from the 2 rivers are known for their bows. So I'll just add that in now. But I thought that was super cool. What I love is just the bustling of the village. Everybody's just going about their days. I love to see how alive it is, and I'm very surprised. I believe this is you can't see my cursor, but we see the Winespring Inn right here. It looks really cool, the center of the town, basically. And yeah, just seeing the different costume design and stuff like that going on here. There's no hidden details going on, but it's just cool to see Emond's Field, just people bustling around. It's busy. It's not, in the books, I more got this picture of they're coming off of winter and people were still stuck inside, and nothing was really going on. We ran into a few people, but this is much more lively. I really like what they're doing here. All right, we're going to go into our next little part here, and boom, there's so much to unpack in this image. This is where I'm going to spend a decent amount of time. Something that I mentioned already in my trailer breakdown is I just really liked the attention to detail when it came to the Winespring Inn, and for a lot of parts in the show, just seeing on these pillars here, all the intricate artwork and stuff going on, especially the bustling of the Winespring Inn, it reminds me of that point in the Shire, in Lord of the Rings, where they're having a few drinks, they're having a good time. The inn is bustling, the pub is bustling about. It's really cool. It's nice to see. So I just love seeing this activity. So one big thing to note here is the cup that Mat has in his hands. Everyone says this is a dice cup. totally could be a dice cup. For the people of the books, you will know that that's a big part of Matt's character, and it's just awesome foreshadowing for people who are going to get into the show, and they'll realize that, it's a little bit bigger than at first thought. And then our next little shot here, this is when I was starting to hold back the tears. We just see all the boys. They're just hanging out. They're like best friends. They've grown up with each other in the village their whole lives. Matt's probably telling a very inappropriate joke. I think I've already said this before, and I just love seeing the reactions of like Perrin being like, you shouldn't have said that, and Rand being like kind of chuckling it off. Maybe they're talking about Egwene here, because I feel like that's going to be a central part of the first half of the season, is going to be Rand and Egwene's relationship. So maybe he's making a little joke about Egwene and Rand and when they're going to get married, because Beltane's coming up. So yeah, we see that here. Any other little details? Yeah, they're just living in the moment. They have a simple life. I love seeing it. I love seeing this calm before the storm that's going to happen. I love the Shire feel that's happening. So we'll get into the next little bit of the trailer. In walks my new fantasy crush here. She has her hair braided now. I love the costume work right here. And we see people are starting to look at her. She's the mayor's daughter, so she's prominent in the village, and she's probably looking over at Rand with a smile, and just really nice. So a detail that I wanted to bring up is her hair is braided now, so this could be a part where after that initiation, or maybe just like, she's got her hair braided. That was their customs. This is their first time seeing her hair braided, which is significant for her in the books. So she wanted that her whole life, blah, blah, blah. So now she has her hair braided. She's of marrying age. Maybe Matt made a joke beforehand, like the shot I was talking about, of her being marrying age now, and we see that her hair is braided here. So that's very significant in the story. And we get the cheesiest grin from Rand, so we could really tell it's being played up in the show that like Rand is absolutely in love with this girl, just like head over heels. And Egwene's, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how she's feeling about Rand. I don't want to spoil too much for people who are just getting into the show, but I guess it could already be hinted at. Something that I have not seen from what other people are talking about in the show is Nynaeve gives a little like, ooh, like frown, don't know how to react to a smile. So my like deep theory for this is going to be that she knows what's going on, her and Egwene. Their relationship already is going to be like amped up a little bit in this adaptation. So I think that Egwene and Nynaeve talked, and that she is probably not feeling the same way towards Rand anymore. So spoiler alert, sorry. I'm not really going to get into much spoilers past book 1, because this is only showing the first 3 episodes, probably in this trailer. Maybe it shows a little bit beyond that, but no more spoilers past then. So she knows what's kind of going on about their relationship. So that's why she has that smile there. We skip to a little bit more. Here we see a beautiful landscape. Let me see. Here it looks like Moraine up here at the front with her white horse and her blue cloak. She's running away from something, or they're running away, because that's what they're going to be doing majority of the first season, just running away. Could be Moraine with Lan and the kids, the Emmons Field 5, just running away, and we get a beautiful landscape. We're obviously going to see some very nice mountains. We're going to see this nice blue water here. So yeah, it could just be Moraine running away from some people. I won't spend too much time on this. 18 seconds. Okay, here's my notes that I'm just going to kind of like read off. Here we see someone we don't really know, but we can speculate that from this fandom that it could be Steppen. And Steppen is Kareen's warder, which we see some stuff later with them, and he has a ring, and we know the implications of a warder losing their Aes Sedai, or vice versa. It's not a great experience. So this is speculated to be Steppen, the person that had both the axes, and he's kissing the ring because probably somebody died, and well, we could speculate from there. So that's kind of what I think is going on here. Boom, here's where we get that scene. Now, this is my favorite part of the trailer, my top one. I have a whole video of my top moments within the trailer, and something that I didn't know until someone pointed out, up here in the top left, we can actually see some boots. I'm somebody in heightened the image, and you can see boots up here. So there's people surrounding her. It makes me think that it could be the women's circle and her initiation. And I have a whole theory on that. It's out there. It's really out there. But I love coming up with theories like that. I don't mind being proven wrong at all, as long as it's better than what I came up with. But what I came up with that I thought was pretty interesting. It would definitely add to the lore, but probably not going to happen. So this could be a dream. It could be foretelling what happens in the future, and I'm not going to give away anything. By the way, leave spoiler warnings whenever you're commenting for people who are just trying to get into the show. So yeah, this is foreshadowing for the show. I think it's a cool image. I don't mind changes in the show. Everyone says think of it as a new turning of the wheel. I've really been wrestling with that kind of idea. But I think as long as they're adding better conflicts that fit for television, and they add more things that are more visually pleasing, and this would definitely be one of them, and adds maybe to the lore of the show in the books, I'm all for it, as long as it's not breaking canon too much. So I'm not a huge stickler. I'm pretty common fan, even though I'm making a whole channel about it and doing deep dives. I'm not gonna sweat over the small things. We're just gonna have to see how the show goes, because it really seems like they're going to be pulling away from a lot of things from the book, which makes me cautious. But I'm not gonna make too many judgments until I actually watch the show. And I think it'll bring a really good discussion on the difference between the show and the books, and is it better, is it not? I don't think I'll ever agree or disagree with those sort of things. I think I'll just be like, maybe it works better for this medium and they still get the story across well. That's what I'm hoping to come from it. So that was a little rant. Sorry about that. But yeah, this could be her initiation to be an apprentice to a wisdom. Could be her initiation for... See, somebody said that the clothes look different. It's still the blue that she had on before. So the clothes don't really look too different for me. Maybe somebody thought the lines, but that's just the clothes sticking to her skin. So anyway, yeah, I forgot totally where I was at. Yeah, so I think this could really be her initiation into the women's circle, and maybe become an apprentice for being a wisdom. That's what I think is going on here. But it could be Tel'aran'rhiod, and we'll just have to see. So going on to the next thing, and boom, we'll spend a minute here. I'm at 26. So I'm just going to read off my notes a little bit. So now we come on to Tar Valon, and we see Dragonmount in the same shot, and it looks really cool. I love how the city is. It does remind me a little bit of King's Landing a little too much, coming out up like this, but that's okay. Well, we're just going to get this out of the way too. The White Tower just looks like a chode. It's not exactly what I thought the White Tower would look like. I think it's fine. I think it's very practical. For me, I would have liked a little bit more of a fantasy element to it. That's why I had to give this deep dive now, because I could be a little bit more critical and not on the high of the show. I'm still, even the things that I'm critical of, it's fine. It's not that I hate the trailer. I love the trailer. I think it's the best it could be. I'm just going to have my critiques, obviously. I'm not going to be blind to certain things. I'm sure I'm still going to love the show, but I'm not going to be blind. I'm going to have my critiques. I still think these buildings all down here, the detail actually looks awesome. You can see a little Persian sort of inspiration. You could see just a whole bunch of different world influences when it comes to the architecture over here. And we see the stuff on the mountains over here in the background, and Dragonmount seems to have, smoke coming out of it like a volcano, so that's really interesting. But I love the detail. Even though it looks like a chode, I'm like, okay, it's still gigantic. It still looks cool, I guess. I still like it a lot. Just not what I expected. So that's a critique, but that's fine. I still, it's not that big of a deal to me. It doesn't make or break the show at all. But yeah, no, I just wanted to bring that up. And my next one, all right, the next part is the best. What everyone was waiting for, the boots. We need to analyze the boots. Whose boots are these? Where are they going? These boots were made for walking, and that's just what they'll do. I mean, we really need to just get into this. No, I'm okay. That's just been a meme in the community, is the boots. We look up and we see that it is Moiraine. And I'm going to just go back here a little bit so we can see her ring here. It's got blue for the blue Aja. I don't mind that they changed this. I think it's pretty cool. And we see her cloak. And boom, she just puts it down. It's not that... but yeah, I think she's looking pretty cool here. We're going to go here. So it's connecting those that other scene where she gets pushed into the water and Egwene's going down this water. It's all the same color, even in the pool. So I'm thinking it's all the same thing. It could all be a dream. It could be her initiation. I'm more on the side of the initiation rather than it's a dream. But yeah, nothing too notable here until we get a few seconds ahead. There's a lot to sort of break down. I'm going to try to go through it as much as possible. We see the Keeper over here. We see the Ajas represented. We see Moiraine at the center. I'm just going to read off my notes. So, I mean, we don't really know what's going on here. Moiraine does have her pendant, which is nice to see. People made jokes about the black Aja over there on the left, but we know that's the gray, and then that's probably the brown over there on the right. People have a problem with how bright the colors are. I think when you're in the White Tower, you're going to have the best, like, costume sort of stuff up. So they're all dressed in their very formal gowns. I love the diversity going on in the room. It's not all just the same sort of outfit going on. We have definitely a lot of different cultures and a lot of different influences going on around here. It seems that though the Red Aja does have a little bit different, but they all have this warrior sort of look to them rather than the others. Very fitting for them because they're the ones that are going out there and fighting against, the male channelers and stuff. But so they have a little bit more warrior look going on. We have some scholarly looking look. It looks cool. I love the detail on the pillars. Whoever their set designer is, they love they love designs on pillars. And you know what? I think it's really nice. I think it's cool. I like it. So yeah, I think it's all looking really cool. We don't really know what's going on here. It's maybe her setting out on her mission. I don't know. I have no idea. They're going to change a lot, I feel like, in the show. But, we'll just have to see. All right, so breaking this down a little bit. This is Siuan right here, our Amyrlin seat, and I think she's looking stunning. I'm loving the gold around. The costume design is just... The set design and costume design is just amazing. We can even see... I didn't notice this, but we can see that the set design stuff is... they got some, stuff going on the pillars back here. One thing I wanted to bring up was you can see the rainbow inside of her little dress here. And someone that I saw, they brought up her tattoo, and it's from some culture. I don't want to I don't want to get it wrong, so I'm not really going to name it, but it's supposed to do with some kind of goddess. And I think the tattoo is very fitting. It threw me off for a second when I first saw it, but I think it's cool. I think it's a great detail, so I think she looks really cool here. All right, we're going to go on a little bit further. Wow, what's going on here? We don't know. This doesn't happen in the books at all. So Moiraine is being healed by a green Aja, and she has her ring on it. We think this could be... It looks like somebody different, but it could be Corrine right here that is healing Moiraine from some kind of incident that happened. Because we'll see later they're at some sort of camp with Nynaeve and Lan and her are, which I think is where they're going to differ from the books a lot. We'll get to that when we get there. But yeah, I'm trying to speed this up because I know this is going on a little long and we're not even close to being done. But I'll make sure to get all the details. This is the first time we see weaving. And I totally agree. Well, that's a big one. I totally agree with Daniel Green. This is the first thing I thought as well. But Avatar: The Last Airbender, airbending, live action. This is really what it looks like here. It does. Not the biggest fan of it. I think it's still pretty decent, pretty cool. I love the earrings because those are the earrings that are described. Those are the earrings and artwork of her and stuff like that. And I think it's really fitting. So really cool here. Wow, so this one. So in my notes I just wrote, okay, this is just breathtaking. This is beautiful. I love the weaving that's going on here. I love the color that's happening. It's a little bit more blue, not as white, coming from Moiraine. And we just see actually just everything's absolutely on fire. It's going crazy right now, but it's really cool to see. There's tons of dead bodies on the ground, and she's about to do that lightning strike, probably on that Trolloc over there by the Wine Spring Inn. But everything is on fire. It is not going well, but it seems like she's pulling all these weaves from around. It's about to be like some big climactic thing when she's bringing in these huge weaves that are all coming into the center onto her. So I think that's really cool. Or they could be going up and they reversed it to the sky where we see that other shot. Love the mountains in the background for the Mountains of Mist. And, just seeing all these weaves. Super cool. Looks really nice. And we can skip a little bit further. Yeah, so they in the part of the trailer they say, and the women that can touch the power of the world, and it's interesting to see the Red Aja, who are the people who, are really controlling those male channelers and hunting them and stealing them and everything. So, women that can control the power, and we see some really powerful women, the Red Aja here. Awesome costume design, awesome diversity. I love it. So that is our keeper right there at around 47, 48. She's looking really angry. I don't know if because the meeting's going crazy. It doesn't look like it. Those people are still in the background. I don't know why she looks so angry, but yeah, we'll have to see the show to see it. Maybe she's just starting the meeting and that's why she has it like that. So I don't know. But yeah, looking cool. Like it. Boom. So I'm really going to get into deep diving this. So this is our warder that we saw before. He's double axing it up. Kareen. No, that's not Kareen right there. Is it? No. So this is Stepan right here, who is Kareen's warder. And there is Nynaeve. And this is Alana. And we see some other people around her. We see some weaving again. It just looks like airbending. Like, I don't know, kind of weird. But we got Guy with a bow. I don't know what he's going to do. And she's stopping all these arrows in the middle of the air, which is cool. So we just seem like we have some, it seems like there's sort of a circle going on, a little connection from other Aes Sedai. What I love to see from this scene is Lan is protecting Nynaeve, which I think is really cool. I love to see that. Boom, and we get away from that scene, and we see this November, so revealed this November. One thing I wanted to bring up is I love the trails going on outside of here, and we just see it branching off out into the other pieces of land. We get to see another angle of the White Tower, and it is just freaking ginormous. And we see that they're going to keep the shape of the island. Yeah, if you know. You're going to go to the next scene. Boom, so this is good. Mat and Rand right here, and this is Mat and Rand right here, and we see a sort of city in the background. I saw Daniel Green's critique. He wanted it more ominous. I think it looks fine. We see a broken wall over here, and actually Jay Diggity, that is his name. He's one of my subscribers, and he brought up another, I believe he's a he. I don't mean to assume, but he brings up a great point that I'm gonna have to bring up later. But Shadow Logoth in the background with the river, and we see Mat and Rand right here. I'm gonna skip a little bit. You got Rand right here. Not too much to discuss, really. Rand with his bow. The Two Rivers is known for their long bows and stuff like that. So, don't know what he's really pointing at. Maybe the Dark Rider and stuff like that early on in the show, or maybe it's just later on. They're just trying to protect themselves. And here we get the dagger with Mat. We already know kind of what's going on with that. I think the dagger looks cool. I've heard some critiques. I was never really attached to the dagger. I didn't really care of how it looked, but I think it looks cool. And we see right here that the mist is now more of this creeping darkness, like oozing, taking over the city rather than this mist that's going around. It's more of a darkness that's eating everything. And I think that's a really good touch. The mist is fine. That's cool. I like this darkness better. I think that shows across the screen a lot more. We'd like to see Rand here in his sheep's cloak with his bow, and Egwene and Perrin, and they're like, yep, we probably can't do anything against that. And so now they're running up this wall, and I did not notice this, so I don't know what happened to Rand. Maybe he got separated from them, or maybe he didn't come up yet. But Jay Diggity also brought up the fact that they're over here on this wall, and the river is probably right there. So there's a sound bit that's earlier on in their promotion material that they brought up. It's just like, are you ready? And she's like, no. And he's like, me neither. And they jump off. So that's probably this scene right here where the darkness is coming over and they have nowhere else to go because of that break in the wall over there. So I thought that was a really good point. I didn't even notice them before. I just noticed this darkness eating the city. So this is probably where they jump and they get separated from everybody. So, that's a really good point. I wanted to bring up here. Doesn't have to be. But I think this is absolutely an Aiel. And I just wanted to bring up that that maybe they just like touch on it for a little bit for the first season because we won't see Aiel for the first season. But this is definitely an Aiel right here. I'm just going to say definitely for sure. I don't care. It could not be. Who cares? But I'm like, oh, maybe this is an Aiel, and Mat is looking back and is just like, what the heck is happening? And maybe they just talk about the Aiel War for a half a second. And here comes my third favorite part of the trailer. Right here, we see a little wolf guy. He's giving Perrin a hard time. which I love. And I think this wolf, I'm just going to say it's Hopper. Yeah, so I'm just going to say this wolf is Hopper, and we see Perrin. So not to really spoil anything too much further in the show, but if you know, you know. And I just love to see that Hopper is giving Perrin a hard time right here, and he's like, I'm not trying to have any of that. Now, a very controversial part of the trailer right now. We're about 1 minute and 8 seconds in. This is very interesting. So they aged up the characters. She is looking at him very lovingly. I don't think we'll actually see an intimate scene between them. We're just seeing the post scene. So I'm just going to go out and say for the show, we're not going to see any intimacy going on in regards to that. But I think we are going to see this post scene. People had a problem with it, but I think as long as they don't show anything, I'm gonna be okay with it. Yeah, because people had a problem with like, you don't have to do this to have a loving relationship, whatever. And definitely I get that, but the scene where it was Rand smiling at her was definitely more impactful than this right here. But I think there's something that's going on in this scene right here that's very complex that I think needs to happen. So they just got done doing the deed, and you see her smiling, and they probably get into a conversation about how Rand is going to be a sheep herder and she just wants to go out and adventure. And or like he's probably saying like, when this is all over we can go back, and she's just like, I don't want to go back. I want to become an Aes Sedai. So sorry, spoilers, whatever. This is gonna be in the first few episodes of the show, and she's just like sort of thinking about that and probably how this is like not going to work, because even though she's like loves her traditions and all that, she wants to go on adventure, and he just wants to be a simple like farm kid. And she's never wanted that, so that's a point of contention in their relationship. So I was like, at first I was like, is this still the Winespring Inn? Because that would definitely like be weird, because like her parents would be right there, or in the other room that they're just like laying naked over here. But I don't know when they would have an entire inn to themselves. I don't know, that'd be weird unless it's later on in the show. Even still, when would they have a whole inn to themselves? So yeah, I don't know. So yeah, this may be probably a conversation where it starts out nice, and then the reality sets in of they're just going down two different paths. And even though he's still in love with her and wants to work it out, she's like, yeah, nah, that's not going to work. And we're sitting about 110 right now. Here we have Mat. Matt's like looking like, oh crap, what have we gotten ourselves into? I like need to get the hell out of here, which he is like that the entire series. And Perrin is just sitting here like, what are we gonna do next? Or like, I don't know what to do. What are we gonna do next? I don't know when this really is. I think they have some people who are say what's going on here. Yeah, like when are Mat and Perrin stuck together? I can't really remember. But yeah, so this is just like, oh crap moment, and then Perrin is just like, eh. So you just let me know what when you think this is. Just leave it down in the comments below. Leave down your timestamp. I'd love to hear from you. Here we get Tam for the first time, and he's just talking about like the wheel turning. This is probably post Winter Night, and they've already left, and maybe he's going after with Mat's father, and they're going to go and try to find the kids. I don't really know when this conversation would be happening. Maybe he's like about to tell Rand who he really is. I don't want to spoil too much, even though it's like a big part of the entire series. But maybe he's about to tell Rand who he really is, and they get stopped by something, or maybe he doesn't eventually. So that's Tam right there. This is a great sequence. So we see Beltane right here, everyone having fun, and then boom, dead. Everybody dead. I don't think this is post-Winter Night. I think this is somewhere else. Probably where Loghain has pillaged, and we're just seeing like the aftermath of Loghain's like army coming through, and that's why they're after Loghain. That's why it's more important that we have Nynaeve right here. And we have some Aes Sedai, so I think it's like trying to show how bad it can get with a male channeler leading people. So we're just going to set up more and more of that. And I think episode 3, I like totally take back everything from my episodes now that I'm seeing this trailer. So episode 3 is called Dragon Reborn, and I think that's the episode when Loghain escapes. So yeah, I just wanted to say that on here. I don't know if I'm going to make a whole video where I'm going to redo how I thought it'd go, because when I was giving mine, I was like pretty strict to the books how it was going to go, but it's going to be obviously very different. So yeah, we can see Nynaeve over here. We can see all these dead bodies. And this is probably right before Loghain is freed, or right before his army comes in. This is the only scene that I had a real problem with. It really just looks it looks like a painting. This is probably post that meeting we see earlier. It honestly just looks so terribly CGI, and it looks like a painting. They'll probably touch it up a little bit more before we actually get the show, but we'll have to see. Boom! First time we get to see a Myrddraal here, looking really cool. I love how it looks. The mouth is all tucked in because we see how the mouth looks later. We see the horse with the skull, and people were wondering what this scene was. I think after further analysis, more and more people understood. Lan is here at knife point, and I believe this is Nynaeve. It looks like her coat right here, because obviously she goes after Egwene and the boys, and she's trying to protect them, and Lan is right here just like the Dark One's after your friends. So this is Nynaeve after she catches up to them. And this is a really cool scene. I broke it down in my top 5 moments, but we get to see the Myrddraal's face a little bit more. I don't know what that light is. That's really weird. And it's probably a torch. It's fire from a torch. And dude, we see like all these Trollocs like stacked on top of each other. It's looking absolutely insane. In the left, we see one with a beak. Over on the far left, we see some with tusks. We see them with horns, looking more like, just like super diverse, which I love to see. They got blood all over them. It looks really intimidating and insane. This next scene, I wanted to bring up that Rand is looking pretty composed in his run, and Matt's got like his clothes falling off. He's like going crazy. So some people think this is a White Cloak back here in the background. Think it could totally be possible that it's the White Cloak after they prank him. I don't know, or maybe they're just after him. I don't know if they're going to do the pranks in this one. It's probably more serious tone than from how the books were, but this is probably a White Cloak chasing them. I'm down for that theory. And everyone was wondering who these people were. I think at this point we basically know who they are, or we have a very good guess. This is Logain's Dragonsworn. I'm like going to go 100% saying that. We just got this random lady in the background. And they're all just sort of just look like farmers and random people from the countryside. So I think that's really cool to see. So this is his Dragonsworn coming in to save him. He Lan punching a guy, and boom, we get to this scene. So I think what's really interesting to see here is that this is the channeling happening from his face, and we could see the darkness sort of like overtaking him. So we could see that the Dark One's taint is like in the one power while he's using it and causing it to go insane. And I just love seeing it's going from his body, and then boom, just absolutely explodes out. And we got a red Aja and a green Aja here. People are saying this is Kareen right here, and this is probably when she dies, because from this explosion we see her, boom, bonk her head. So she's just probably dead right here, and that's what causes Steppen to go in, and he was outside, and he comes in here later in the trailer. Nynaeve is like, what the hell? I don't know what to do. I just saw all those dead bodies, and now this is all happening. So she's freaking out from all these Dragonsworn going around, and she's not channeling. So there's a theory that was saying that Egwene was initiated because Nynaeve could be a true Wilder, and she could be teaching Egwene how to use the one power because it's described in the books as a river that's flowing and all that. I don't think that's it. I would hate that. I'm just going to say I would absolutely hate that. It's such a crucial part of her character and why it's harder for her to use the one power, because people who have finished the books will know that there's a huge event that happens that she finally has her power and can use it. And it would just take away from that moment. That's one of my favorite parts in the books. If they do that, they'll have to justify it for me. That is something that I would be upset about, because it's something that I love about Nynaeve's character when, that's a flaw in her. And when people work through their flaws and overcome them in a story, it's very satisfying. But if they decide not to go that route, I will be a little bit upset. Then we see Moiraine here. They talked a little bit about like people looking back at her like it was after that meeting, and we have people facing away back here, and everyone's like looking at her like kind of weird. So maybe we're going to set it up different, and she's just like, I'm going to go after the Dragon Reborn no matter what you guys say. And they're just like, nah, we don't agree with you. That's definitely not how it happens in the book. She is looking for the Dragon Reborn in secret. Only Siuan knows. So maybe she's doing something else. We don't know. But love the costume design. Love the diversity, the pendant on her forehead. And then we see Siuan here probably talking to, it doesn't look like Moiraine because it's not the earrings, but she's talking to someone. What'd she say? Yeah, she's talking about the last battle. We see some Trollocs here blurred. I love the sound of the Trollocs. They sound animal-like. We see Moiraine going through the woods, probably running away from These Trollocs lands looking really cool. We see another shot here of the Dragonsworn attacking. We see Nynaeve here in the background, and she's like, what the hell am I going to do? So we probably have all these Aes Sedai who are going to be attacking them and stuff like that, and it's just going to go absolutely crazy. Here we probably have Winter Night, and we have Nynaeve protecting Egwene, which is just great to see. And still Egwene's just like, I got a knife too, and I'm ready to cut somebody. So that's awesome. We have the infamous double jump, double axe throw in step in here. And he's just absolutely going after this guy because we can see Kareen right here is absolutely just dead probably. Logain is being shielded probably by Moiraine. I believe that's Moiraine right there. So Moiraine is shielding Logain. Steppen is about to attack him. Probably going to F everything up and Logain will get free and run off with his Dragonsworn. That's what I think is going to happen. And Kareen is dead on the ground. So Steppen's going to ruin it all. Yeah, just an awesome sequence. We can see the one power being used here. It just seems like a whole bunch of weaves. It looks like a whole bunch of lines and weaves and threads, which I think is super cool. And it's great to just see Moiraine and Logain. Wow. It's great to see Moiraine and Lan to work in tandem, fighting these Trollocs. Yeah, kind of looking like something from out of Star Wars in the 1970s, but you know, it's still working for me. It's still working for me. I think it just the diversity in them is looking really cool. But yeah, so working in tandem because they're like of one mind basically. This is a big shot. This is a big shot to break down here. So I'm going to try to pause it at the perfect time. So right now we have Lan, Nynaeve, Mat, and Rand all coming up to Perrin, Moiraine, and we have somebody else. Do we see them? Yeah. We see somebody else over there. Maybe that's Min. We don't really know. And people are like, where was Logain? People are saying not Logain. Where's Loyal? Loyal seems like to be that guy right in the middle with his horse. It could totally be him. I don't know who else it would be because I think that's Perrin over there on the end, and with the white horse is Moiraine. So that could totally be Loyal right there, and that could be that's probably Egwene. And we don't really see Min, so I'm wondering where. I don't know. We'll see if she's in there or not. I don't think Min was at this part. I can't remember. Y'all gotta remind me. Then we see right here at 138. That is our Black Rider. That is our Myrddraal coming in to. It's raining here, but it's not raining later. For some reason in my head I remember it was snowing, but I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong. It wasn't snowing at that point in time, because that would have been cool to see. But yep, we see our Black Rider, and my number 2 favorite part of the trailer is seeing our Myrddraal here. It absolutely is looking horrifying, looking like the kind of pictures that I'm used to seeing of a Myrddraal. I think it looks super awesome. Yeah, we get some more Trollocs right here. We get to see their hooves. We get to see some horns, the fire going on in the background. We see Lan. He is looking concerned because it's like about to go down. It's about to be bad. And Moiraine is kind of looking so concerned too. People didn't like how like animated it was of them like using the one power, and she's just like whoosh like with all her hands. I think it's cool. It definitely does look like airbending, kind of weird. I'm sure as the seasons go on, you know, it keeps going, it'll get a little bit different. But yeah, they're just working together, working in tandem. Somebody said they could see a Trolloc eating a person in one of the shots. I forgot where that was, but I thought that was like so funny to see that. But yeah, they're working together, fighting them off, and we get one of the epic scenes. Yeah, we see some Trollocs dead on the ground here. Pretty diverse looking. I really like it. They're not all the same. This is the part from early promotional material we saw. And boom, she brings down that piece of lightning and absolutely blows this Trolloc up right here. That Trolloc is gonzos, my guy. I don't know if you guys can see it, but it shows up really well for me. We see another Trolloc right here. And boom, the lightning goes into the logo. And I just love the logo. I think it's cool. It does say like NN kind of, so I wonder if that was like November 19th. They're like trying to do that, but I don't know, probably not. But boom. So yeah, that was the end of the trailer, guys, frame by frame. I know I spent a lot of part on the beginning and then I kind of sped it up, but you guys just let me know what you thought of the trailer. Would love to hear from you guys. Yeah, just leave the discussion as I was talking about it, the timestamps. I went pretty slow, but you let me know what you guys thought of the trailer, maybe some other theories that you had, maybe some things I didn't pick up on. Would love to have a discussion with you guys. Thanks for sticking around so long for this long of a video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.